With years of hype and mystery, No Man's Sky was arguably 2016's most anticipated release. The hype train was full steam ahead. Does No Man's Sky pull up in a blaze of glory, or does it derail in a ball of flames? Stick around to find out. Here we are then, No Man's Sky, buy it or bin it review. You've got myself Apps here from the Dimp Digital team, and I'm going to take you through my personal review and give No Man's Sky its official grading. As always, let's kick things off with my cards on the table. First off, I purchased the limited edition of No Man's Sky. This set me back £70 worth of game credit or store credit. That doesn't have a factor or an impact on my opinion of the game, but I like to disclose these things if I've been lent a game or if I haven't paid for it. I like to just disclose that to you guys so you know where I'm coming from. Unsurprisingly then, it is on the PlayStation 4. This PC can barely record this review, so it's got no chance of running No Man's Sky on any settings. And lastly, this is a bit of an odd one, but because it's become such a post-release storm, I have to address it. I didn't take much notice of the pre-release media for this game. And what I mean by this is that I didn't watch many interviews, I didn't read many previews, and I didn't watch many trailers on the game. So the whole issue around features that were mentioned in interviews pre-release and then not appearing in the game didn't have any bearing on my judgment for No Man's Sky. And to be honest, even if I had listened to them and I had read them and I knew about these features that they were saying that were going to be in the game or they would like to be in the game, it wouldn't have factored into my opinion anyway. At the end of the day, I like to judge each game on its own merit, and that's what I would have done. But just so you know, I wasn't really caught up in that particular storm, if you will. That is the end of my cards on the table. Let's crack on to the main review. Let's start with presentation and performance. I like the art in this game. I think it's fine. Sure, it doesn't look ultra realistic or have dynamic lighting or anything like that, but it really fits the world and the sci-fi atmosphere of No Man's Sky. If we shift over to performance, then oh dear, it's had a bit of a stinker here. As I record this, I think I'm patched up to version 1.07, and I'm still experiencing the odd crash here and there. In an earlier version, it crashed 6 times in one night. 6 times! That is complete madness. Now, there's definitely a problem there, and they haven't quite sorted it yet. But I will say that my first opening 15 hours were flawless. No crashing whatsoever. So I don't know whether it starts struggling once you've cached a load of discoveries. But either way, Hello Games, not good. Not good at all. What are you going to be doing in No Man's Sky? Well, No Man's Sky is a survival sandbox set in a sci-fi world. If you was expecting epic action adventure or was hoping for a space pilot simulator, maybe the 2017 edition, then this is not No Man's Sky. You mine resources, you hoard resources, you trade resources, you discover technology, you craft technology, you upgrade your ship, you upgrade your suit, you upgrade your multi-tool, and you stay alive. That's the loop, and you'll be using things like alien outposts, galactic trading terminals, space stations, abandoned buildings, secure compounds, and the planet itself to gather new tech and resources. The freedom that this game allows you can't really be matched by many others, because if you don't like what you see on planet A or it doesn't have what you want, you can hop in your ship, fly into space, land on planet B, discover a new planet. This will have new creatures, it'll have new resources, it'll have a new atmosphere to adjust to, and you can do all of this without load screens. Don't like either of the planets that you visited? Well, you can warp to a new system which will give you a new set, a new, solar system to explore with different planets and different atmospheres. Now, along the way, you can upload and rename the creatures, outposts, planets and systems that you discover. You can personalise them, make them your own, but it's great. You'll meet aliens, you'll learn their language, you can learn their history. There is a lot to do when you look at it that way. So the opening hours of No Man's Sky are incredible. That feeling, that one feeling of just being able to leave the massive planet you're on, whiz through space, land in a new environment, no loading screen, is amazing. The size and scope of this game is humongous. Absolutely breathtaking what this procedurally generated code has accomplished. Ironically, the humongous scale of this game is probably the biggest detriment to No Man's Sky. They have this ridiculously large number of planets for you to visit, but it gets old really, really fast. And although there is a lot to do, it all looks and feels the same. They use the same assets, the same layouts over and over again, and eventually you become numb to it. And it was a real steep and sudden cliff that I tumbled down when I realised that I'd seen the same looking outpost 50 times over. And that is a letdown, no doubt about it. Narrative wise, you've got the galactic core to aim for and an optional path to follow if you choose to. Both of these, as I said, are purely optional, but to be honest, without them, you're going to be scratching your head with what to do once you've exhausted the very limited exploration that I described previously. This is where there is an issue for No Man's Sky. The exploration piece is relatively limited when you break it down, and you'll be begging for a goal. And these two narrative paths aren't going to offer you the most compelling story, but they give you something to do and something to progress. Mine a new resource, find a rare resource that you've been looking for that will let you build a component, that will let you build a new piece of technology. That in turn will enable you to reach a planet that you couldn't reach before. That is what No Man's Sky is all about. It's not about exploring and getting to new planets and discovering new outposts, because they all look the same. But when you do that, when you take through and go through the path of finding new stuff and progressing, moving through space, it's solid. It's solid at this, and it's definitely not a train wreck. All in all, No Man's Sky starts out very strongly on the exploration front, but soon fizzles out once you suss out the similarity between planets, outposts and other landmarks. You can use the learning of alien languages, finding out about their past, discovering new creatures as a brief distraction, but the game saves itself with a very loose narrative direction and some concrete goals for you to achieve. That is what is needed, and thankfully that is in the game. Perhaps this is a breakthrough in technological game design. This is a flawed but competent survival sandbox, which may offer you an experience that perhaps you weren't expecting. However, No Man's Sky has earned itself a Dimp Digital by its seal of approval, and my official grading is bronze. Thanks for your time, and ta-da.